It's Ted Kelly in Philadelphia at a place called Blinkin' Lincoln's. It's funny how life happens because about a year ago, I'm at Abbey Road Studios, and this guy named Alex Lipinski comes in. Did you have your guitar with you?
Yes.
Right. And who were you there to see?
I met Jim Bajia, who I'm playing with tonight, through a gig we played the night before.
I love the way you say Boja, like like the Sopranos.
Yeah.
Hey, you doing Boja? Yeah, but you say
Bajia.
Bogia. It has practically a French flair to it. All right, so you saw Jim, and you came by to see his Abbey Road performance that we did at Studio 2 last year.
Yeah, World Space. And yeah, that's how we met. We met the night before, and I come down, and obviously being a big Beatles fan, I was like, yeah, I'll come down to Abbey Road. And yeah, and it's from there really, and just kind of stayed in contact from there.
So I meet Alex, right? And, we have a great conversation, and sometimes we were able to have, like, sort of set breaks where we were able to fit talent in. Unfortunately, we weren't able to at last year's Abbey Road. So I said, listen, dude, when you get to the States, we're going to come up, we're going to record you, and we're going to sit down and have a little talk with you. Now, to paint the picture for you, Blinkin' Lincoln's, it's like a very cool little, practically acoustic performance room. And I have an old friend named Brian Sloman from New York City by way of London, and his lovely wife, Deborah. And they came out for the show because I said, listen, you got to hear this Alex Lipinski. You got to hear Jim Boja, too, who's a brilliant singer-songwriter. But, I had heard some of Alex's EPs, some of his early release stuff, because you have an album coming out when?
Slightly complicated. It's going to be a UK release. There's a few things going on at the moment back home, which haven't been kind of clarified yet, but they should be by our return. So hopefully it'll be released, the album, by the end of this year.
Okay. Tell the story of Alex Lipinski.
Grew up in a small seaside town in the southwest of England called Weston-super-Mare.
Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, it's just outside Bristol. It's a nice posh part where the BBC used to have its regional studios. You've heard of... BBC?
Yeah, I've heard of them. How did you get this whole little musical vibe going?
It comes from a family. I'm the youngest of four. I have two older brothers, one older sister, and they're all musical. My sister, Teresa, she's great. She's got the best voice of all. She lives in Poland, in Krakow. And my brother plays, who I play with a lot, Adam. He's a singer-songwriter who's 8 years older. I have an older brother who's Richard. He's in the Navy, but he also plays. And it comes from my parents growing up during the house. Like, all I kind of heard until I think I was about 5 was just Beatles and Elvis Presley, and that was it, and then that's where my musical influence stemmed from. And then from then on, the Beatles, 60s, the Kinks, the Stones, and then new stuff like Britpop, Oasis,
Older brothers and sisters are good for that, for those types of influences, right?
Yeah, it's great, and it's quite a big age difference. I mean, it's 9 years between me and Adam, the next one, so there was never any arguments. I just kind of played all their records and kind of learnt from them, and was in all my brothers and sisters really, and music, and
Teresa's actually on the album, right?
Yeah, Teresa and Adam. Teresa sings on one song, "When Will I Be Home," and I made her fly in from Poland, Krakow, to sing that song. And Adam is also featured on a few of the songs on harmonies.
I actually was listening to "When Will I Be Home." It's on your MySpace page, which is myspace.com/Alex Lipinski. Lipinski. Here we are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Long way from London, long way from the UK.
I went to kind of the south as a vacation before, but this is the first time I've played in the US.
What's the States like as a vacation for you?
Well, I mean, it's weird. I mean, the last time I went to the south, so I went to New Orleans, Memphis, and Nashville, like on a music tour with my father. And kind of Nashville, RCA Studio B, where Everly Brothers and Elvis and Roy Orbison used to record, and it was just great. Now I was in New York this time, so it's great. There's England and America are very similar, but there's also very subtle differences, and that's as well. That I feel very English being in America. I don't know why, but I do. Maybe because
we don't have the accent. That's why.
That might be it. But being in New York, the last thing I want to bump into is an English person because I'm on holiday, so it's like...
And then you end up in Philly, and who you're sitting across from.
Well, exactly, it's a small world.
Well, I'm glad that Alex didn't meet me until at least 2 weeks into his trip, because I felt exactly the same way when I came to the States. I didn't want to meet any English people. Excuse me, you're querying my pitch, I've now got a gig going on here, and the last thing I want... Frankly, to this day, why I hate Australians. Every American now loves Australians. They just get in the way. So,
It was the Crocodile Hunter that did that. And the accent, too. here you are in Philadelphia. You've been touring the States. So far, what's the feeling?
It's good, you know. I mean, I've just come over to do a few solo shows. I played in New York City, which as a city I absolutely love. Very, very different to London, but it's just a kind of similar vibe, you know. I mean, my music's got both English and American influences, but it's just great. It's just a great buzz about New York City, and then I went to Rochester, which is upstate New York, and again, just playing the songs from the album, just solo, throwing a couple of covers in, and it just gone really well, you know. Just good feedback.
What do you think of Jim Boja?
Jim Boja's great. As I say, we met about a year ago, and we have kind of similar. We both share a very high, strong passion for the Beatles, which is a good thing, and generally good music. So we have a lot in common, and it's just great. We planned together earlier rehearsing because we're going to do a few songs together tonight. So yeah, it's great to see him and play together again.